Updates background humming on prime time. But we're back. It's Devstream 29. We're joined by your horse face reveal.
Do you want me to put the horse back?
It's quite fine.
I can put the horse back on.
We're joined by some devs. Scott is joining us remotely with high-tech means, and we'll go over some housekeeping to start things off, namely that there is 2 24-hour alerts after the stream, which you'll have to stay tuned for at the end. And today we're going to be talking about lots of your community questions. We had a lot of good submissions this week, and we will reveal the cast of Devstream 29.
We're going to be talking a lot about Update 14.
Correct.
We're talking a lot about new stuff that's coming.
Yes.
Hopefully we'll take questions as well.
Oh, yes.
But when we were getting the stuff ready together for the stream, I was quite impressed by the stuff that we're attempting to do for Update 14.
Yeah.
So stick
But
around.
who are you and why?
The best stuff is going to be kind of at the end, just so that we can
Drop the bomb, drop the mic.
Yeah.
And you're a new face, DE Glen.
Yep.
What say you?
Nay. I'm ready to horse around a little bit, and
What did I give you? Rein it in, Glen?
yeah, I'm gonna rein in the
Everything's
terror.
stable. Come on. All right, because of our slow start with sound issues, we are going to start with the Platinum Prize. No one objects.
That's nice.
We're going to give away 1,000 Platinum to someone watching the stream. All you have to do is be logged in on Twitch and watching the channel. And the winner is going to appear on this rotating...
Oh, you actually have an animated... Scott wants to see.
Scott wants to see, he's not allowed. There we go. It might take quite some time because it has to go through the whole viewer list. There's my arm.
Whoa, this is... Wow.
Yeah, this is the longest Platinum giveaway.
It's like a wheel spinning.
Look at that refresh rate.
Selecting winner.
Yeah, this fix yourself a drink while we're waiting.
Come on, RNG. Come on, RNG.
I want plat. This is probably...
You can't put
What happened, Glen?
Big Macintosh. Is that what we got here? You can't
that
put
the
Big
name of the-
Macintosh on the floor.
Jeff,
I can't.
you're off camera. Deal with this. All right, well, maybe we'll do the Platinum Prize when it's done, because
How many times does it cycle through it?
there's much a larger viewing audience on this stream than prime
Sorry,
time.
say it to Scott.
Scott, there is a larger... This is too much for me. I'm used to...
Okay, well,
You can probably zoom out.
while that's working, processing.
We'll take our first question, which is
Yep.
more of a PSA than anything.
Do you not have to like press space or something to tell the chill the fuck out?
I can't.
No.
Oh, this stream just got rated M.
Yeah, language.
It's
I
fine.
knew this. I knew we'd get you on here and you'd be swearing and cursing.
We like chop people in half.
I know.
No,
You're
no.
Just
fine.
little f bombs.
Be yourself. Nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
But
Should I put the mask back on?
Do you code in the mask? Does it interfere with your
Sometimes.
programming?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I gotta put the mask on.
Right, okay.
Channel the horse.
Okay. All right.
our first question is... Oh, we have a winner.
Scott.
Shrimp Roll. Oh, wow. What a good name. So, Shrimp Roll. The word shrimp and the word roll. You've won 1,000 Platinum. Message our Twitch page that you're watching right now with your PSN ID or your PC alias, and we'll hook you up. Way to go. Shrimp Roll.
Shrimp roll. That's awesome. Congratulations.
All right. First question from Win. What about PC to PS4 account migration? And
I have a question.
Yes.
Is someone going to slow-mo the chat?
Yeah, chat's going fast.
Yep.
well, that's what our eyes. Well, allow me to
Horse Prime.
Yeah.
engage in vision
Bro
mode.
hoof.
Applejack.
Oh, is it gone slow-mo? Because for a while there, that was pretty intense. Okay.
All right.
Sorry to interrupt you.
That's fine. It's a very important
The
question.
first question.
PC to PS4 account migration, and I did get some news from the team on this, which
No.
is we actually have good new
we
news.
have bad news, right?
No, we have good news that isn't just
Oh.
a discussion phase situation.
Scott's nodding like he knows.
I know.
What's,
It's in
what's
the final
coming.
approval stage, and we expect to have it live after update 14. And once we actually get the finer details, we will share them. But it's looking good. So rejoice, PS4 players that would like to play with their PC account or vice versa.
Awesome.
Not vice versa.
Very
PC
cool.
to PS4 only,
Awesome.
which is exciting.
That's great.
All right. The first question from the list.
Okay. All right.
Many ask, including Ninja 3 X2, when will we add the emotes that we have discussed many a stream?
Yeah. When should we add that?
But I like how I just looked right at you.
The animations are ready to go. I guess it's more just finding a time. Like poor Dorian and Pablo are swamped with lots of new UI stuff, so we've kind of felt bad dumping that on their laps about how to interject that stuff into the game. So, content-wise, we're kind of all ready to go. I don't know. When do you think is a good time to implement it? Probably
Stop abusing me.
Would you say it's a
No,
lower...
I'm not asking you. I'm not asking the iPad.
Well,
I think
the one place that we know we can use it is going to be in the relay stations that we
I was
add.
going to say the hubs. It seemed to be
Yeah.
appropriate with the hubs.
Yeah,
So
because that place is more focused on socialization to
Yeah.
begin with versus, slash dancing
yeah.
after a boss fight.
Yeah.
So
Well, as always, while you're waiting at the exit for everyone else to show up.
Yeah.
And all we do is
Hurry up.
teabag right now. So
yeah,
Right now there's
it's a UI issue.
so
I
it's
think it can go in pretty soon. So maybe that's we should check
Yeah.
and see where that's at. How many animations do you have for it?
About 8.
At 8? Yeah,
Wow.
great. That's fantastic.
8 unique emotes.
And each one are
But we-
10,000 platinum.
I can't-
Is that how much it costs? Yeah, cool.
Yeah. Whether or not those 8 emotes all have a place, but
Yep.
can you give us any description of any of the animations?
we showed them a while ago. There
Yeah,
was
that's
like
what
affirmative,
people have been-
negative.
yeah.
There was go here, go come here.
Okay.
Go there, come here.
Yeah, and then people can,
Yeah.
yeah.
Dance. There was no dance.
Oh, that's too bad.
All right, our second and one of our most common questions is about from Polymelodic and others asks, how far is the Silva Aegis, which is the official name for the Sword and Board community contest weapon,
Oh.
how far is it in development, and when is the release date to be expected?
It's pretty far along. I think release date we're going for update 14. So
Are we? Okay.
There's no official date for that yet, but I guess the trademark soon. But it's going to be part of update 14. We have some stuff to show.
Ooh.
For that,
Oh.
some progress.
Oh.
I haven't seen this.
I don't know. Maybe
exciting.
we have an image of it, Warren, that might be good to show first, just to kind of get an idea of.
That's
Oh,
not it, by the way, what you're seeing right now.
That's not it yet.
That's not a
Oh,
weapon.
that is cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
Strongly agree that we need emotes for waiting at exit, says Toma. We,
Yeah.
All right. All right.
Glen, you're
And they have to
good
be
company.
impatient, like
Yep.
slapping your hand angrily. And
So this is what it looks like in game. So it's your fire sword and remember
wow.
the '80s Hercules movie with Lou Ferrigno? I'm sure everyone has seen that.
Yeah, you're really hitting a broad audience with that
Wow,
reference.
yes.
But yeah, that's what it looks like when it's in game. And then we have some animations to show from Maya.
Software, not a
So
person.
yeah, so we have an idol.
Whoa.
Variant going on.
Whoa.
That's an idol?
That's like the idol variant. So
Oh, did it transform?
That is
the shield-
awesome.
Yeah, the shield
It
expands.
transformed. Oh.
Oh, I can't wait to see the effects.
That
of
is what I want.
Jogging. So that's blocking. So you get to block bullets with your
Yes,
flame
yes,
shield.
parry.
Amazing.
This is our default attacks that will come with it.
I like the thickness of it. It looks
Yeah.
heavy and
Yeah.
means business.
Why do these
here's-
animations look like 60 FPS?
They're not. They're
No?
30. Yeah.
Oh.
They're 30. So that was
so smooth.
That was a combo chain that you saw there. That will come with the stance
Right.
card.
All right.
So,
Oh, that is just
That's beefy.
fantastic.
So this
yeah,
was
it's really great.
Oh.
It's a really fun experiment to do too.
Yeah.
yeah.
The user submission. And
Yeah.
actually
What was it?
That was Silver
That was
Bones.
Silver Bones,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
Wow.
Yeah.
He visited us
Good
last
work.
week.
He visited us. Yeah, that was
Is it
awesome.
going to have the fire elemental damage intrinsically? Do we know?
Sure
what
sounds
kind?
like it.
I guess it should, shouldn't it?
Yeah. That's exciting.
Fire mailing weapon.
Yep.
Nice. Actually, on this line, because Silver Bones, this was his
So
concept.
there's shield hits in there too.
Yeah.
Eh? Oh, that's
Yeah, you
so
can have the
cool. Wow.
Great.
That's
Sorry. Okay, I'm just gonna enjoy that.
yes, you can relish in it.
Yep.
Our follow-up question to this is from Weird Stealth, who asks, will there be new fan-made weapon contests like the Melee and the Enemy of the Tenno contest, which is ongoing right now? So here we're seeing the fruit of the first contest. What is the future?
Definitely, but should we talk about that email you sent out yesterday?
Right. So I think what we want to try,
Keyword want to try? or-
what we're going to try, and this is kind of, I guess, up to you guys when you want to pace that out.
Sure.
Yeah. Are you okay? Me talking about this?
Yeah, go ahead.
So I think the next thing we're going to do is we're going to release. Carrie and Mike are going to pick. Minky are going to pick. I think 3 weapons. We're going to release the FBXs and the normal maps, the diffuse maps,
Yep.
the spec masks, the tint masks, so that people can actually try their hand actually making the content directly. If people, I assume, looking at how much art is made for Warframe,
Yeah.
there
It's
are
crazy,
people.
even just the fans, like
Yeah.
how good the content is. that
The
people
level of
submit.
skill there is incredible. So what I'd like to try is I love the concepts and the ideas that people have. seeing if people want to try their hand at actually directly making the content. We'll do a contest. They can vote on the winners, and then we'll take that data and put it right back into the game.
Right. So instead of it
custom skin.
Right. And it's a skin.
It's a skin contest. The meshes are there so that they can load it up in Blender or whatever viewer they have to take a look, preview their work. So we're going to kind of do. It's not exact. It's a far cry from Steam Workshop.
Yeah.
But this is kind of our toe in the water. And then what I want to do, which I haven't cleared through everyone yet, is that. Depending on how we sell those things, that whoever makes it and wins the contest gets cut of the platinum with them, so they could become the first Warframe magnate off of making a custom
Now, we've
skin.
kind of used the word skin in two different ways. In
That's
Warframe,
true.
the first skin are the immortal skins, which is but it's a pattern.
Yep.
And then we have things like the,
Dagger
proto
axe.
skin, which, So which skin is this contest going to apply to?
I think it's more of a mesh swap.
Okay.
So it's the way like the Chrono Sword behaves like the Skana, but it's a different mesh.
Right.
So it would just fit into an existing
So it's not they're
stance.
doing decals on it.
Yeah.
It's more of a...
Yeah. Is that right? Is that fair to say?
Which is it? Is it
Am I
both?
wrong?
I don't want to contradict you too aggressively.
No, contradict
but
me.
I think what we probably want to do first, we can try the mesh thing depending on skill level, but at first it might just be material changes, which is you make your own tint pattern, you make your own normals, you make your own like color maps and that sort of thing. You define where the pattern is, so it might be a little bit more like the Mortal Skins. However, the FBXs are going to be there if people want to make their own and they can respect any animations on the thing. We can try that, but I think initially we were just thinking about materials.
All right. Well,
Baby steps.
baby steps. Definitely baby steps.
And then ideally we move from there to opening more things up and having the community, having a place where they can vet the items and
voting maybe.
And oh no, an extreme close up.
Oh, Big Macintosh, what happened?
Oh God.
Oh, you're doing a close up there.
Yeah, we got to keep the little pony here.
All right.
Oh, excuse me.
All right. Well, that's very cool.
So we're going to continue to run those contests
do you wanna
with
hold
enemy
them?
designs, and weapon designs.
Maybe I should put them down.
But one of the shameful thing about some of those things are they have to wait for us to actually build it and put it in the game, and this might be a way to sort of skip.
Much like the fan dioramas?
Yes.
Ooh.
Speaking of, our winners are 6 months in the waiting. So what's going on with those?
They're very, very close to being done.
Okay.
Yeah,
Like-
they kind of went into limbo for a while because it was such bad timing for that contest. We're like, do this login diorama, and then we removed the login diorama.
Yeah. That kind of just happened.
So they kind of went into limbo, but we're very close to being done.
All right. One of the questions, Scott, how well can you hear me?
How much latency is there?
You can?
I can hear you.
All right.
Yeah.
So we have 2 questions about Warframe reworks in particular with the Warframes we're playing. One is the Valkyr animation rework for Hysteria. How is that coming along? That's from Lazarus Dark. And do you have any Warframes on the plate moving forward beyond the adjustments we just did?
I think Oberon will be next.
Oberon will be next?
Yes.
If Glen has his way, I'll continue to work on Nova, I think. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
we can hear you.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Glen's smiling.
I just don't throw me under the bus. I
If
don't know.
Glen has his
Oh yeah, I'm throwing you under the bus, buddy. And then Valkyrie when we get to her.
All right, so Valkyr when we get to her. So I guess the biggest thing with Valkyr is the Melee 2.0 came. The Frame's ultimate hysteria is this crazy melee thing, but the lackluster reception, I suppose, to the animations and execution of this.
Yeah, I don't think the power itself lived up to what the expectations of it were.
So
and
what are you changing?
So
Well, the bar got raised so high with Melee, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, which is good. So now, as I mentioned in the last stream, we were kind of redressing that power to go with the context of Melee 2.0. But you're gonna make me show all my content at the start of the stream. But yeah, we have a lot of stuff to show for that.
I'll skip you next, Geoff.
I think it's such a big undertaking that it's probably also going to be packaged with Update 14. I keep seeing every week people hoping it's every Wednesday that's coming out, but we'll probably see her update coming in Update 14 because after we do the animation pass, like Jeremy and George will have to do the effects pass on it. Scott will probably have to go kind of relook at some of these attacks and give them more functionality. So
images and
so we can show stuff if Warren wants to.
Warren, do you feel like it?
I guess.
Yeah.
He will.
So when you kind of go into this state now, you're going to be in a brand new movement state. That's why we're doing so many animations for it. So this is a looping animation, but that's going to be her equipping. That would probably do like a
That's cool.
Yeah, so she has a new idol.
Oh, wow.
She's going to have new jumping, which she'll keep spinning the wall.
No more powder punch.
Oh, that's awesome.
Copter? Can we copter like that?
New wall running. This will be her new default kind of attack when she's in Hysteria.
Yeah.
And then she'll also have combo chains to go down as well.
That's
So
great.
these are 3 different
Holy
combo
cow.
chains.
Oh, I like
So,
that
yeah.
one.
So how does how do you execute on these combos?
It'll behave like a stance.
Okay.
Like so, you'll have combos kind of attributed to her power.
Will
And
you be
then,
able to
and we're
stance
doing,
that, though?
yeah. And we're doing all new finishers for in this state as well. So
Really?
yeah.
Holy.
So that's
So it's a lot.
You know, I saw it
Yeah.
in chat go by. Like, oh, they're working on her off, like, you know, upset about that. But seeing this, it's you're not putting it off. You're
No,
actually
it's-
digging in and
totally.
redoing everything.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
so amazing.
oh my god, that's
Yeah,
so
she's
awesome.
getting like a full library of animations.
Oh,
So
wow.
So it's its own like stance card just for this ability.
yeah, like once you hit once you activate Hysteria, you're in that stance mode now.
Wow.
so cool.
So this is like you can do any one of these things depending on how you time it. Now, I mean, one thing about Melee 2.0, and we do have questions about that as well, is the payoff for executing successfully on these combos. Like, will
Yeah.
you do so much more damage that it's worth it to skillfully execute on this, or is spamming Melee just, you might as well do that?
Yep.
That'll be a Scott
Let's
question, I
ask
think.
the,
He's gone.
Is he gone?
He's gone.
He knew.
He knew.
He ran,
He left.
reconnecting.
So it's reconnecting.
He bailed.
Well, I think
that should be the goal. But yeah, go ahead.
But also, like, it really depends on the context, right? If you're in
Yeah.
Apollodorus, it doesn't matter. I was
Yeah.
going to say it doesn't effing matter, but it doesn't matter.
You censored yourself.
Yeah, I censored myself. I should be rewarded. I should get the mask back
No,
on.
you shouldn't.
You have to wear the mask if you're going to potty mouth.
Permadeath. This is a permadeath stream.
No, but like if you're out in Outer Terminus, you might actually want to do a longer combo to knock over heavy or something.
Definitely. And speaking of Outer Tournaments, we'll go
But I
right-
do, if
Oh, yeah.
Scott was here, he would probably say that we do need to take a look at
Agreed, yeah.
the value, specifically the amount of time investment versus the payoff. I completely agree. Just playing even with some of the first mod like stances we made, like Iron Phoenix, to really get to that end of the baseball swing and that
Yep.
boff, it takes so long versus the radius of the stun that's happening.
Right.
So, yep, I agree.
All right. Because you spoke of, Outer Terminus versus Apollodorus and enemy difficulty level, one question from Necromancer is about loot progression. One particular reason playing higher level isn't rewarding experience is the fact that the loot we got from the higher level is the same one we can get from lower levels. This is a strange structure that doesn't encourage players to play in the star chart and voids higher level except defense and survival. Any plans to deal with this issue? And I think before we answer that, this has been an issue for a long time. Like
Yep.
this question isn't like we're not aware, but we need to talk about it again. So
Sure. Well, we can throw Sheldon under a bus. I mean,
Yeah.
he's
it's
not
all
here.
Sheldon's fault.
Yep.
He promised, he didn't deliver.
He actually.
I think though it is changing. Like he specifically in the original question avoided defense and survival, which already is structured. There is more difficult and better rewards for doing Outer Terminus versus Apollodorus or whatever. Like
Right.
so that's fine. I don't know. I assume that the same sort of thing would be happening to capture missions and rescue and stuff like that.
Right.
And I know that some of the dreams that Sheldon has for making different things drop in different regions already, like even though it may not be necessarily difficult, like there are regions that are of comparable difficulty, but they will have different things in them, like the resources.
Yes.
So if you are looking to get the Oberon helmet, for example, you might want to get that in a specific region versus the chassis in a different region. So he's already talking about that
Oh,
already.
I see. So instead of it just being random leader drops, it's region based?
That's one of the things that he was talking about. I don't know if he mentioned this on a previous stream, but that's one of the plans that was in motion, which is to divide some of those parts between regions to give you an incentive to go to Phobos and enjoy some of
Right.
that content there,
Right.
and then move your way over to
Because
different
right now the
regions.
incentive to finish a note is the Warframe drops, right? Like
Yeah.
get that boss, get the drops.
Sure, but then you go back to those regions and you want to go to Mimas for cells or you want to go to a specific
Totally.
region to farm XP. Like there are incentives, and I think that if we build on that and make things like Oberon parts or things like that in specific areas,
Yep.
it'll draw you to enjoy that content. And personally as a player, like going to different areas and enjoying that content again,
Yeah.
even though you burn through it once, but then you go back to it and hang out there and it's fun.
Yeah. I agree. Any comments from you?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
We got Scott back, I think.
Oh, we have Scott back. Hi, Scott.
I was working on that. Yep.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yep.
Oh.
You didn't want to see Scott.
There he is.
There he is. Yep.
You look a
So
little
adorable.
Yep.
He's right there. I guess we'll lead on to that question just because, there's a certain difficulty.
Okay. Scott, we kind of lost you when we were talking about reward distributions and difficulty. And
I blame Sheldon.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I think
Nightmare Mods was a little bit of that, and I know that Scott is working on something for the event, which is much more difficult and has commensurate rewards as well. So.
Well, the Rescue 2.0 scales to difficulty in terms of what reward you get. That's one mission type that you can get a blueprint for the best Spectre, the Cosmic versus Vapor. So.
I think the intention, and maybe I'm wrong, but I think the intention was to revisit each game mode, and that in doing so, there would be a simultaneous analysis of what rewards were appropriate for different difficulties.
Defense needs stacking rewards. Hell yes.
We've said that for so many. I know.
I don't know. I disagree. Personally, I think
Right.
it's a real nice fuck or walk. I mean,
You can.
it's
Work or walk.
It's take the reward or not. It does give you an opportunity. Do I want this formula and I want to get out now, or do I want to risk another 5 rounds? It's interesting.
I mean,
Right.
I think that's a good point, and it would make sense if the rewards may be a little smarter because
yeah.
if you knew that if you stayed at wave 40, you're gonna. I mean, I guess this always comes down to the RNG reward system. Is you would be more motivated to go to wave 40 if you knew you had a chance from a very specific pool or a very specific thing.
Yeah.
So not stacking would be worth it or not worth it, but would make more sense because.
Well, one of the things that Sheldon talked about before was getting bigger bundles of stuff.
Yes.
So if you do wave 40, you might get 2 Forma or 10 Orkin cells or whatever.
Right. I guess that kind of. Oh yeah.
That was one of the ideas for dealing with it. It doesn't really handle it for prime parts. Oh, sorry, you're low battery.
Uh-oh.
This is
Warren's device has died.
That's
all right.
sad.
All right, Scott. I guess I'll ask. Oh,
Quick,
here.
ask some questions.
Quickly, Scott. Okay, you said.
My only concern with that is the lack of stacking rewards is pushing people over into a gameplay corner because they're only going to play. The optimizers are only going to play what has stacking rewards.
nah, but it's limiting, right? You eventually get to a point where your weapons don't do any damage. You really get to a wall where you have to stop or go.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know.
These are the debates that occur.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Am I off point?
No,
for
no,
fighting
you are.
with
No.
You are on point.
This is what we're supposed to do.
These are what
This
we
is
do.
why we brought you.
This is why we brought you here.
Yeah.
We summoned
Do you
you.
mean it wasn't the horse? So I can get the helmet back on.
We spoke just to mission reworks and what the reward scheme would be. Many streams ago, Boat Sniper asks, what happened to the sabotage mission type we were talking about? So Scott, mission reworks, sabotage versus what else is happening?
You're breaking up.
Oh no. This isn't gonna work.
You have
Maybe-
you have to be close to ask the question.
No, it's connective.
We're
Yeah,
losing
he's
him.
having-
We're
losing
losing
him.
you.
I hope the stream is okay.
To hear
'cause
you.
he's-
To hear your question.
Right, but the
He's
actual
breaking up.
Scott. Okay. Yeah, the connection isn't good enough to make. Yeah, it's gone.
Oh,
He's
headshot.
gone.
We lost him.
He's gone. You can message me on Skype, Scott, if you're watching. I have it open.
What were you going to ask him?
I was going to ask him about mission reworks and what's next, and what happened to the sabotage one we spoke about many streams ago. I know from my perspective, sabotage wasn't complained about as much as rescue, so it felt like rescue was in need of more love quicker than sabotage, just based on the surveys we did and the player feedback. But reworking missions is pretty meaty, and I feel like it would help a lot of the gameplay issues people have with burnout or just general objective reinforcements. He is. New mission mode for solar rails.
Oh,
Yes,
yes.
that's what he's
Okay.
working on.
Yep.
Guess he wants.
Yep.
All right, well,
Well, then we can set that up. Do you want to show the concept art for it? Do you want to show the video?
I think we have a lot of things for that.
We have a lot. We don't have concepts. We have screenshots.
Yes.
Well, let's. I don't even know if we need the screenshots, but we could show some of the screenshots.
I haven't seen this
First-
yet. I want to see it.
Yeah.
So I know that Hazel's doing mission rework. I'm not sure if she's working on sabotage right now, but she did the survival one. So like looking at existing missions
Okay.
is obviously something we're continuing to do. You're looking at me like my head's
you said, did you
upside
say
down.
it's for survival?
I don't know if she's working on sabotage. She did the rescue stuff.
Oh, rescue stuff. Sorry, I misheard you.
No, I misspoke. But we have a small crack team of guys working on a new mission mode to go with the dark sectors. So this is what I love is that it takes place outside for some of it. This answers the questions: what if we could actually defend our solar rails and battle the other clans and alliances that are trying to destroy our solar rails? So this is our answer to that question. It's a attacker, defender, asymmetrical game mode where a team of Tenno attack the solar rail, complemented by a large group of creeps, specters, and so on, and they fight against a smaller team of another squad of Tenno with a smaller group of defending AI. Basically trying to use them. It's a ticket-based system, so they have to defend the solar rails generator and burn out the other team their respawn tickets. So these are sort of a Tenno-inspired architecture that Joey's putting together, kind of an inspiration of the dojo, making that game space playable. But what's really cool about this is the defenders place turrets, they place generators, they place specter spawners. Wow. They get to control the battlefield and design it while they're playing. And the other rad thing about this, which is completely in the experimental phase, is I see PvP, yes, PvP, no in chat. Don't worry, if you don't want to play PvP, we have plenty more to talk about on the stream. But the really cool thing about this is everyone starts unranked.
We have a video of this, I think.
Yeah, so you start with all your Warframe mods, cool, all kind of de-energized by the crazy void energy that these towers create. And as you play, your Warframe and your weapons are coming online. So as you play, it's sort of, you get this kind of mini level up loop. But what's really cool is that your mods come online in the order that you've spec'd them out. Yeah. So you now have this sort of interesting like mod capacity constraint combined with the ordering and the timing from which they engage as you play, which is really, really cool and crazy interesting for people that are enjoying the solar rail conflicts.
I think that same mechanism would be great for PvE as well.
Yep.
I would love to play that in like even just a defense map.
Yeah, when the code is working, which is kind of crazy, I think it'd be an awesome kind of like a nightmare variant or some kind of interesting.
So all your mods start unranked and you have to earn the XP.
Your items are unranked.
Everything's unranked.
So the mod capacity is essentially nothing, and then it's coming online, right?
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes,
here?
and this is replacing.
So your levels, your unranked Warframe, no mods work, right?
No
Except
abilities.
for 0 capacity ones, and then rank 2 achieve. I have this much mod capacity. Is that enough to turn on the second mod? No, it's not.
So it's going to take you level to get your slash dash working. Level to get your
totally, and your serration and all your stuff.
And this is replacing the solar rail conflicts.
This is for solar rail conflicts,
but not all of them.
The conflicts
in the conflict phase.
Really?
I mean, the dark sectors will still.
Yeah, the dark sectors will still be there.
Right.
When you're in a conflict phase, this is if matchmaking can find the people that want to play it.
Interesting.
So we'll probably have to leave the underlying sabotage-esque kind of thing there. Okay. But this is the idea that if you want to come and participate in this and affect the conflict with your skill rather than just your running the missions and speed running them, then you can go in and do this. Let's show some video because it's actually pretty far along.
I know some people that are just going to be so excited to do this. Yeah. This is really amazing.
Yeah.
I know it's not going to be for everyone, but there's so much else to offer.
So here we are. You start out crazy in space with the magical oxygen. Oh, their ship just flew by. Oh, that's exciting. Yep.
Okay, so these are the attackers, and the defender has already deployed a snow globe.
Yeah. Yep.
Are those specters deploying the snow globe?
Yes, because they have Warframe abilities.
Nice.
Yep.
So they're starting out.
So again, everything, the glows and the highlights and stuff are placeholders.
Okay, so now here we have Excalibur continuing.
Yep. So I think that's destroying an emplacement, and then they're going to be moving inside.
Oh my god.
And you can see, now he's not picking up mods. These are the mods that are coming online as he's leveling up. So they're just kind of using the HUD right now, the pickup HUD.
So his vitality is 4 ranks
So now, no, his vitality's on now.
On.
You know what I mean?
It's all or nothing. It's not
It's all or nothing. It's not slowly leveling them up. It's, do I have enough capacity?
Okay, so that's the defender. What did he just do?
Yep.
You could almost do it incrementally too.
You potentially could. Yep.
So his avalanche is on now.
Yep. So now You can see now, he's got Fury now. There you go.
All right, because we're looking at every Warframe secondary, primary, melee mod going on.
Yeah, all your gear leveling up. Bam, 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 bam.
What's the expected duration to hit 60 points on a potato gear? Is this a half an hour mission to get 60 points?
A little under that, but yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Because that's really interesting, because whatever you have in the last slot is your
That's your Uber.
Hurrah.
Yep. That is. Yep. Totally.
So this is a multi-objective thing, because it just said new objective. So I believe.
I just want to make sure that isn't Scott calling me.
So good.
They do.
No, it's not. Yeah.
Almost makes me want to turn local reflections back on.
So
You don't have local reflections
my
on?
machine is not so great.
Oh, I love the local reflections.
I do love it.
That's
it looks
beautiful.
awesome, but it just.
Yep.
I think Scott was saying the clans can put the emplacements where they want to as well.
Yes. So you can,
so you're literally fighting on a solar rail as well.
Yeah, you're literally fighting on a solar rail, and then this is the kind of idea players have been asking for this since we put in the dojo, which is, can we attack each other's stuff? So this is getting into that idea. What we want to do is take the dojo design and have a section of the dojo that you customize and build, and that part is basically the template that gets put on your solar rail. As for defense.
So you can lay out your half of the defense.
Yeah, so I think the idea is, we still have to talk technically about it, but there would be a room which is like the tower, defense module. You build it, and then anytime there's a tower defense against you, it uses that data, those decorations, those traps, those turrets, those specter spawners, those power-ups, all that stuff.
Yeah, Scott just said in chat, future plan is clans will design the layout of the mission and where items are placed. So it's level building.
Yep.
That is amazing.
That's awesome. So, and chat is also saying, well, first of all, that's the Karat gun that he's using. And they're also saying, what if I'm not interested in this? This doesn't interest me. So.
Well, you should be interested in it, because I approach it with an open mind.
Yeah.
But
that's fair.
But
I think that this is really going to appeal to certain people after a certain point in your career. Like, you're going to enjoy 300 hours, 500 hours, 1,000 hours of Warframe without even having to go near this.
Yeah.
And then once you become really adept at all the things it has to offer, this is really going to keep you interested, I hope, in enjoying the game for a long time.
Yep. Again, the vast majority of this team is working on PvE content and new bosses, and all the Kubro and all this crazy stuff. So,
but if you look at the excitement about the rails and the conflicts like that, so many people are really into that. I mean, this is going to make a number of people really
And I mean, I feel like we haven't released, we released it, and then
when we did the Spectres, sorry to cut you off, but I just wanted to say, people that weren't really into those rail conflicts still had a great opportunity to build a Spectre that worked solo. Right?
Yeah, the Spectres you can bring in your.
So you can use those as companions, basically. So we do try to utilize anything that we're doing in many places as possible.
And I just saw a very important question from Phantom Jack that said, "Let the man with the highest frame rate win." How does this work in our matchmaking system? Performance.
The same way any other PC game with variable frame rate works.
All right, there you go.
Yep.
I think, though, to speak more to the PvE versus PvP point, I think that you're going to have, it's a clan effort, right? So the resources that are required to build a really good layout, to fund the development of the traps. I mean, you may be a farmer and you may not want to have to deal with, taunting and being called dirty names.
Absolutely.
You can help your clan achieve great things.
One guy in your clan is like, murdering in the tower missions directly. Meanwhile, you're out building specters to add to the tower.
In other games, like I was the resource builder, and everyone else was dealing with the Twitch.
PvP,
yeah. So I think it could harness different fields of work.
Yep.
Man, this looks really exciting.
Yep.
Excellent. All right, there you go. That's because like I was saying before, you cut me off, but it's.
I'm very sorry about that. Yep.
Do you want to make him wear the head in punishment?
Yeah,
I can wear the horse hat. I haven't said the F word yet, so I feel like I'm doing really well this.
Do you want some more bourbon?
Get your swear juice on.
Nope.
Just about the dark sectors and how they were released and the questions. I mean, we haven't really updated them massively since changing it to mobile defense and general Spectre army building. So people have been wanting to know what's next, and this is it. I guess the next question is when, which I always am obligated to ask in some capacity.
Are we going to do U14 for that, or are we going to drop it earlier?
I'm pretty sure Scott. Can Scott chime in on that?
Scott, when?
There's a lot of latency though. Horse, please.
Horse, please.
Show hoof. Show hoof.
I think they were aiming for 14.
They were aiming for 14, but it's possible it won't make it. So perhaps we can just settle with that as the answer, and when we know more, you'll know more.
Yep. absolutely. The other things that we're doing to the dark sector conflicts, one of the big problems is there's a ping race to start a conflict.
Yeah.
Because there's no differentiation between when one alliance or clan can contest the rail versus another. And what's being worked on right now, which will be deployed as soon as it's finished in advance of U14, is that the amount your clan or your alliance contributes damaging that rail is basically extra time. It's like an early time that you can attack them, so that it isn't people with low, like bad pings in, say, Germany. I know Timo was talking about people having trouble in Germany because someone in the US is pounding to try to contest the rail and beating them because their latency is less. So if you contribute to a conflict, you're going to get earlier opportunities than people that are just
So this is your clan or alliance running in support or defense of?
If you did damage and you want to deploy again, then that counts as extra hours earlier than just anonymous
and so the person,
people.
the clan or alliance that contributed the most to the offensive effort.
Even if they didn't, even if they weren't the challengers, but they were in there pounding, you're earning little cookies.
I wonder if there'd be like a room for mercenaries. You know, have a clan that's like.
That's totally
That's interesting.
Yeah, totally. So we want to solve that drifting problem as soon as possible because we think it's very bad. So.
All right. Well, let's give away platinum.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Platinum.
Sorry. Yes,
That's another bourbon, I think.
All right. There you go. Platinum selecting winner. Here we go. Platinum giveaway prize.
Okay, here we go. It's only going to take 20 minutes for it to roll the dice.
I know it might, so maybe we should do this, and then whenever it's done, actually.
We're going to have to put a Jira in for Adam to make it faster.
Make it faster.
Adam made that?
Yes.
Yep.
It's a Twitch.
I mean, we improved the frame rate on PS4 last update. We should improve the frame rate on this as well. Yep.
I feel like while we're waiting for this to select a winner.
I'm saying that for our PS4 players because I see a lot of them in chat right now. I saw questions like, when are we going to get all the weapons that PC has?
Yeah. As far as I know, they're working on bundling the update.
They're bundling it right now?
Yes.
Okay. So there you go.
It has not been sent to cert yet. But
is it appropriate to talk about what we were talking about on the phone with them this morning?
As long as you don't make any burn any bridges or say anything.
Well, I guess one of the biggest issues that I know of being a technical person, the biggest thing that I know about PlayStation 4 is load times.
Yes.
And load times are crippling and embarrassing. And really, I mean, to speak technically about that problem, it's because the amount of content that has been released for PlayStation 4 for Warframe has doubled in size, essentially, since when we shipped. So we have all this new content plus all this old content, and the rift between them is making load times bad, roughly speaking. So we were talking.
So we get a new update, it goes in a different part, and that loads slower every time we update.
The problem, I mean, you know as well as I do, it's about jumping between old and new content and mixing the two. And what we really want to do, and what we need help from Sony to do, is to put it all in one place and make it all super fast. And can I tell what Elliot did last night?
Yeah, absolutely.
So Elliot, one of the programmers working on the PlayStation 4 stuff, tried an experiment where we did put it all in this one place that we need Sony to help us with, and it made loading 3 times faster, which is amazing.
That's insane.
So I mean, the light is at the end of the tunnel. We had an excited, really good call with them an hour ago, and so I'm hoping that we can make some progress on that, and that load times on PlayStation 4 should be radically improved.
Yeah, I mean, Elliot was talking to me about that. What I love about what's going on in the PlayStation 4 team is they're in a mad dash to every time there's something new on PC, they have to bundle it up and they have to get it ready for cert and send it off to cert and work with Sony, but they're always trying to squeeze more out of it. Like, what's the next steps for frame rate? What's the next steps for improving load time? So
who's the next platinum winner? All those.
Who's the next platinum winner? And the answer is
Bossman Soul. You have won 1,000 platinum.
Bossman Soul.
Message our Twitch page.
With his phone of obnoxiousness.
I know.
We don't have the sound bites, but
that's all right.
It's fine. You won 1,000 platinum.
I'm sure we all miss it.
Yeah. It's awful. Message our Twitch page with your in-game alias or your PSN ID, and we'll hook you up. You won Bossman Soul. Might as well start the next one now, and by the time it's done, it'll be good. But I guess you just spoke to the load times on PS4. What about performance on PC, or what is your
performance on PC?
Oh, well, that's all.
PC.
We're always working on that.
Tell me about it. Tell us about it. Tell us all.
How many frames per second do you guys want, man?
We were talking earlier about this.
Right. So Glenn, you have some stats about who's running what in terms of performance profiles.
So one thing that we snuck out, I think it was either update 13 or a couple of patches after update 13, very shortly after update 13, and then we have the data now. We know how many people are running 32-bit Windows? How many people are running on laptops? And this is something that, if it's not unusual in our industry. If you look at Valve, you just Google Valve hardware survey, you can see for all games on Steam, they have similar stats about different people using different types of video cards, vendors, DirectX 11 versus DirectX 10 versus DirectX 9, stuff like that. But anyway, for us, one of the things that really surprised me personally was the number of people that are running laptops with embedded graphics. So 1 in 6 Warframe players, Intel HD graphics.
Intel HD thing?
Yeah, and I'm seriously looking at laptops because I'm going to buy one and I'm going to eat that dog food and I'm going to play on low end and I'm going to experience that and fix what's broken on it. But the other thing that surprised me was 32-bit. 1 in 4, only 1 in 4 are running 64.
What's so the Intel? So armed with that knowledge, what do you think would be next steps?
Well, the first thing
obviously to eat dog food, but what's the other thing?
Well, the first thing we did was we got we have a bunch of guys that deal mostly with performance. They all they do is look at performance problems, boil down what is wrong.
Dimitri and Xander, right?
D and Z, DNX,
D and Z.
They deal with either directly with art people if it's an art problem, or they deal with the code people if they find a code problem, and they're constantly looking at them. And I sent them a list on Monday of stuff that I saw on the weekend that needed investigation. So they're always looking at perf and they're always making things better. And like I was playing Earth on the weekend because I was trying to get VHEX stuff, and wow, it was amazing. Like just the performance.
It runs a lot better.
It runs really great now. So it is improving all the time. But the big thing, I don't know if you want me to talk about the Revolution. Viva la Revolution.
Absolutely.
So one of the things that I think got a real kick in the pants with this stats was the number of people that are running 32-bit. And that really surprised me because I thought, everybody has 16 gigs of RAM, everybody has ridiculous amounts of DirectX 11 machines with 4 gigs of video card memory and all this crazy stuff. It really surprised me that many people are running Windows 32-bit, not the game in 32-bit.
It says 32-bit master race in chat.
And that's kind of sad because personally I happen to know there's optimizations that are only made for x64. Like there's
from our end.
From our end, because we know that if we made those same optimizations in 32-bit land, we could crash because there might not be enough address space. So it really made me refocus on some of the things that we had been working on. And the biggest one is the Revolution, which is our internal name for a project that's, I don't know if I want to talk about the history of starting with 4 Warframes and moving on from there.
You can talk about it.
Well, how long have we been out? Almost a year and a half, 2 years?
Year and a half,
And when we started, how many Warframes were there? There were 3 starters plus Rhino?
4,
So now there's 16 and then primes? So the amount of guns and content has grown 4 to 4-fold at least, and some of the decisions that we made a year and a half ago didn't really last, they didn't scale. So one of the sad truths is if you boot up Warframe right now, you load all 16 Warframes because you might need them. You're going to jump in a mission with someone, they might be any of those 16 Warframes. And when that number was 4, it wasn't a big deal to load all 4. But loading all 16, not so practical. So one of the things that we've got working right now that won't come out till update 14, I don't want to get you too excited if you're running 32-bit, but the amount of stuff that we load to get into the game is literally cut in half. So the memory footprint of the game is half as big. And I'm hoping, personally, I think a few things that might be improved, like stability in general. I think stability might be improved in general for some people running 32-bit.
There's someone with Intel HD 4000 right
they're correcting you 19 frames plus 5 primes.
One person in 6 is running HD graphics 4K series. But so the memory thing is going to improve. Not only that, but I think it'll make low-end stuff look better. And the reason I think that is that they'll be able to turn out texture streaming detail. And they'll be able to increase caches on things
more
like
memory,
that. Because it's not memory, it's address space, and we can fit more textures up there, and it'll make the game look better on low-end 32-bit systems.
Someone in chat said, "Tell people to turn off tessellation if they want a higher frame rate," which I think is true for some levels.
It is true, but honestly, having been aware of this problem for quite some time, we have been working aggressively on that, and I believe most of the tessellation performance issues have been resolved within the last few weeks. Like they were working on that, and again, it was Xander and Dimitri kicking ass and taking names. They were finding the places that were slow, telling Matt, the art director guy, saying, "This is a place where it's not really working very well. Maybe you can change it." And he's been changing it. So I think in a lot of cases, the performance should be getting better. And in compounding that, we now have, I believe it's Xander, who has an Intel HD Graphics 4000 PC, and he plays it all the time. So we're eating that dog food. We already had like a dozen machines running every flavor of x64, x32-bit, AMD, Intel, NVIDIA, and now we have embedded graphics. in the lineup. So all the min spec bases are being covered, and we're continually looking for places that aren't really working that well. So I don't really have a silver bullet. I can't say 10 frames a second better everywhere come March, or but it's still it's an ongoing process.
Excellent.
Yep.
Badass. So I just saw chat explode with here's my system specs.
Yeah, I see. I play at home on AMD and I play at home on PS4. So I saw people saying, "Hey, make sure AMD doesn't suck." So, that's what my laptop at home is using. And I think usually the best thing, as Glen says, is for us to have hands on the exact hardware players are using, so that we feel the pain and can study it.
The stats really helped with that.
Yep.
Like I went and spent a day massaging the stats to try and get a better picture on what people were using.
Yep.
And now you know.
Yeah, because I talk to players all the time. Like I was talking to someone last night who was running Intel Graphics 3000, and he was telling me about Nick's effects that were really slow for him, and I took notes, and it was interesting. So talking to people is one thing, and getting feedback from chat is one thing, but knowing the numbers and saying 1 person in 6 is running this thing, we should be paying attention to that.
There you go.
That's interesting.
Well, thank you. That's good.
Yep. Huge. Anything else?
Oh yes.
I'm done. I can leave now. I can put the mask back on.
No, you must stay, because our next question is from what's the name here? PS4 Carpo Music, and says, DE, is there any news on T4 keys to help spread new and previous prime parts and just essentially add higher difficulty?
Yes. Well, I know T4 keys is getting circulated a lot. But I don't know when that's coming.
But that is something we're pursuing?
That is all but a certainty.
Nice.
Personally, from a player, hitting the mic, to talk personally from a player, I'd rather see is T1 through 3, what is this? Not invasion. I keep saying, I want to say domination, because that was the name mode 8 years ago.
The mobile defense exterminate.
Mobile defense,
well, no, you're covering the 4 points?
Oh, interception.
Interception. It's such a terrible name, because my cognitive dissonance says that that's not the right word.
Yep.
Intercepting
back in the Unreal Championship
we'll have to talk to
days.
Joy with that. Why'd you call it interception? You're not intercepting.
You're intercepting the beacons of the transmissions. Go on.
Interception, void interception missions, derelict interception missions, that would be really cool.
Yep.
Void or derelict rescue 2.0 stuff.
Yep.
That would be really interesting.
So go more missions in the existing tiers?
Personally, I'd go wide if it was up to me.
Right.
Well, maybe it will be up to you after this.
I know, because looking at, if you do T3 defense to wave 30, you start to hit a wall.
Totally, yep.
And if we're going to just push it, if you follow the same pattern and did T4, what are the enemy type's going to be starting at level 40? That's going to cut out a lot of players. You're going to have to go into that with an endgame build.
The event, the one thing that Scott's working on, I know, instead of making them more meat bags, scales up their lethality, which I think is going to be very interesting.
There's a few very good threads about the general changes that you can do instead of just adding numbers and damage and armor. You change everyone's corrosive, or it's only napalm spawning and all these crazy things.
But something changes in value, when Stalker popped an absorb, I crapped my own pants.
My own pants.
My own pants.
No one else's pants.
But when they started using the powers, that was an incredible change in value for me.
Absolutely. Yep. Yeah, and the Eximus leader things are awesome as well.
I got destroyed by a few last night.
Speaking of Eximus leaders and how they relate to the codex, they require 30 scans per leader type, which people do say is excessive, but...
that's being fixed, by the way.
Okay.
It has been fixed, but probably won't go out until 14.
Okay. Well,
the reason being it's touched so many enemy types that I tried to merge it myself 2 days ago.
And just no bueno.
I didn't want to break anything. I was gun shy.
Well, Stellar D asked, are there plans for codex lore entries for every single enemy and item in the game?
Are there plans for
codex lore for all enemies and items in the game? So I know we have meaty lore for about 4 characters, Meg Prime, Emperor Prime, Excalibur, and Stalker. Will that level of depth be applied to everything in the codex, thus perhaps rewarding the scan?
I want to know the lore for crates.
What about the Moonlight Thresh Cone lore?
The Moonlight Thresh Cone.
I think that'd be cool.
Has a dark path.
The Moonlight Thresh Cone versus the Sunlight.
Child of the streets, grew up without any hope
of being anything.
And the Kubros ate it.
And the Kubros
nibbling at it.
I mean, that's...
Eventually that'd be
we're not doing that as fast as we should, and I think we do divert a lot to do events and that sort of thing, so the main lore is kind of growing really slowly. I mean, we did a big one for Mag Prime last update that people should read if they haven't, which
pretty amazing.
Which talks more about the Tenno and the Orc in War with the sentience, and talks about the other solar system and a little bit. There's a lot of nuggets in there and hints of things to come, hints of gameplay to come as well in that lore entry. So yeah, we need more, absolutely.
This is Ryan's project?
Yep. That one is Ryan and I, basically. Yep.
Cool.
Yep.
All right. A question from War Hero Man with the new inclusion on armor on PC. Cosmetic things. Will they ever include stats?
Yeah, this blew my mind because last night I was chatting with players while you guys were on prime time, and I think it's a conversation that we need to have because we don't have a clear consensus from our community about stats on cosmetics.
Yeah. It's both ways.
I had a real guy nailing me to the wall about the armor stats, which just makes so much sense. But, and I said to him, like, I know, but when we switched, we had helmets, which is armor and had stats on them, and I think it's the negatives and are we paying for cosmetics versus using credits and crafting for them that really limits what we can do power-wise, what we want to do power-wise with them. So it is something to be considered. If I come up with a really clever idea to solve that, then
maybe.
Personally, I don't know if I'm allowed.
I've heard mod slots on these things as well, which is also crazy weird from a UI perspective. But anyway, sorry.
Well, no, I just think that the division between arcane and regular is interesting. Like, if you are only interested in making your frame look really cool, you don't use the arcane. And then if you are willing to take the corrupted mod style, give and take, ambivalent, trade-off, which is interesting from a min-max perspective. I think that makes the gameplay interesting.
So would it be two versions of the same armor?
Well, just like
that's already happened.
Like,
but the problem is arcane is arcane's gone now. You can trade it, but
sure. Well, I still got some to build, but
you can still. Your grandfather did it in the foundry.
Yeah, I can trade those and make mad cash.
Yeah,
you could. Buy a stable for the dojo.
Buy a stable, yes. When can we expect?
Yeah, I mean, and that's kind of what we had always thought about min-maxing and trade-offs. Like, if I could travel back in time, I would make like range mods for Warframes cost more power. Like, we started to bring in those trade-offs when we did the channeling mods, right? You want to channel and do way more, well, that's going to cost you more energy, so that it becomes more of an interesting optimization problem rather than just stack all the good on.
Well, no, even the corrupted mods from the vaults.
The corrupted mods as well.
They're great.
The problem is there's no perfect tomato sauce, right? Which is, I want to look a certain way.
Sure.
Screw you for making me run slower.
Yeah.
So.
Actually, one question I just saw in chat as well.
So we're not going to answer that question.
All right. Well, there you go. That's totally
we'll
fine.
fight about it some
TBD.
G. Kuoni asks, exploration and parkour seem to be getting neglected and are only done if the exit is that way. Are you planning on adding any form or game bonus for parkouring around room to room, perhaps including new hiding places? So underused parkour elements, and just the general state of parkour in the game, because that's kind of one of the ramping up parkour 2.0.
Oh, is that becoming a thing?
It has parkour.
There's been a lot of for an evolution.
Certainly, we've been talking about polishing it from like a flow and animation side. Would be great.
I think there's room to introduce new options as well, mobility options.
Such as?
Well, I think we need to experiment with them first, but
tell us everything now.
I think there's places where we could add some new moves to it, but it's hard because we have so many pre-existing level sets, and if we expand what you can do mobility-wise,
the levels
it might not be compatible with existing level pieces. So you kind of have to make sure it works with what we have.
I wonder if we can harass Ben to add a little spice here and there, because there's places I remember players pointing out, look, I got it in this cool place in the void.
Yeah, that's totally true.
Yeah, well, the secret room, the Indiana Jones room and stuff, those are...
The void stuff is really good for it. The rest doesn't live up.
But not only that, but like there's places that aren't filled yet. Like, you can get to cool places that don't reward you for being there, and maybe that's the sort of thing that we can... I know he's working on...
I saw a cat statue after some wall
Apparently
runs,
there's 50 of them. So.
You've not seen any cat statues?
No.
You haven't?
Oh my god, you're blowing my mind.
You need to get your to Phobos, because that's the easiest one to find.
In Phobos?
Yep.
I haven't been to Phobos since I cleared it.
Mitch is the king of hidden rooms, says Grenier in chat.
All right, Mitch.
Well, here, Grenier, if you're in chat hanging out, one question from Alpha Psychon Guru. This is a touchy subject, but will butt sliding and coptering stay as legitimate methods of travel? This factors into the parkour, or will it be changed? There seems to be just as many people for it as there are against it.
I think we committed with Melee 2.0 to commit to it, to keep it.
Yeah.
You know, we made it kind of skill, like, you know, it's a skill some people can do, you know, and so we...
I can't live without it anymore. Ever since I started coptering, it's my life.
I think it's part of the identity of the game.
Totally.
We you know, visually we were always kind of bummed out by some of the silliness. We tried to reduce the wiggle walk in the air. We tried
it makes me sad to see some visual kind of like, you know, nastiness with it, but...
It's a fast game.
It does look better now.
And it's all really happy accidents during development, like rocket jumping or skating. And
I think the rocket jumping comparison is apt.
And Grenier says it'll stay no longer a bug, and it's now tunable from our end. So
totally.
There you go. Touchy subject.
I guess butt sliding, I never really considered that contentious at all, though.
Well, I mean, it looks kind of weird. Like, a lot of people are saying, why don't you just have sprint speed increase with duration that you're pressing sprint? Because instead of sliding, wouldn't it just make sense that you sprint faster?
Well, there's that weird gravitational layer between the Warframe void energy and any metallic or copper surface.
Is that so?
Yep. That's in the next lore entry. We're gonna go in. We're gonna dig deep.
Are we gonna do a lore entry for slide?
We're gonna deep dive into this concept.
Goofy answer aside, it is cool that we have kind of a bit of an identity with that stuff like that helps.
Do you know how many posts say I was playing Dark Souls 2 and I tried to slide and I got killed, or I was playing any third-person game the second it happened to me in Dark Souls.
But honestly, I took away I was trying to power level to hit Master Rank 16. I hit Master 16 last night, but I was
with what? What was the weapon? Or
Hydroid put me over. So, but my point is that I had unequipped my melee weapon because I had no melee weapon to rank up, and so you can get more affinity for your other ability, your other weapons.
Right, XP.
So I unequipped stuff, and I was trying to copter, and I couldn't copter, and I felt, I don't know,
naked,
hobbled or something. It's like wearing a hobble key. You know, you just
bring your melee weapon for the sole purposing of copter.
Yeah, I use my melee weapon at times, but at the same time, it became such a part of me as a Warframe to bounce off walls and to flip around the level that without it, just isn't the same game.
I think that's a valid point.
I think it's totally true.
And that's
Are we gonna have time for Steve's show and tell?
I just looked at what time it was, but I mean,
we started a little bit late.
We did start. We went like 15 minutes.
Holy Soul, the focus system is being worked on.
Yes,
but I'm not going to show you anything about it just yet because we went back to the drawing board on a few things.
Right. We have 3 questions about that.
That is absolutely around the corner.
Focus.
And might be down the road a little bit as well.
Tower Hill asked that, and a few other people asked.
The focus system is after you max an item, the XP goes into another pool that can build up a point, and you can spend that in a Tenno clan specialization. So, and these are, it's for in-game players and people that have maxed out their gear and are frustrated when they see rank 30 XP do nothing. That pool then can go into sort of an alternative advancement pool.
I wonder if practically that it's before its time right now. Like if you release it right now before some of this rail conflict stuff goes in, it may not really provide the same advantage. But if you're doing rail conflicts and you have that stuff to give your clan or your alliance that extra boost, I think it'd be really interesting.
I think the other thing that's interesting about it is it does come with a whole bunch of lore because you get to learn about the original Tenno clans and their specialization, and all the little crazy symbols and the mods actually start making sense because you know where they come from and where those designs came from. So I think there's sort of 2 purposes or 2 kind of interesting things about that.
Right.
Yeah, Square Me Burrito, like
Hawkins Universal XP. And Scott actually just confirmed in chat that snipers are getting a buff. So
snipers are getting a buff. Excellent. You heard it here first.
One question we have from our French community. So the enemy design project that's underway, the Juggernaut one for Infested, Corpus voting, Grenier submissions ended 3 hours ago. It's adding enemy diversity.
Yes.
People dream about enemies like the prosecutors who can resist and ignore some special abilities or damage types.
Yes.
And the main question from this is, are there going to be more progressions in enemy diversity to help fill the void of kind of every enemy can just be one-shotted, or there's not a lot of diversity there in what you're fighting every mission?
The answer is yes. I mean, that's why we did those polls. And we sort of like filled up the well with our players' amazing ideas.
Yes.
There's some really awesome ideas.
And speaking of that,
and like visual ideas and design ideas. We're not going to do that, no.
SE 05239 says, are we really just going to scrap the ideas that didn't win?
No.
No, I mean we're going to print them out and burn them, but otherwise we're going to throw them out. No, and it was interesting because Tom, who works on the boss designs with Paul and Daniel, they work a lot on those things, and he said, okay, well here we got some new ideas for these enemy variations, and then it was sort of like an office job desk. Here's my ideas. Well here, put these in your queue as well. And he's like, holy crap, these are amazing, and it really.
It's kind of like the same with when we had the Warframe contest, right?
We did all four, the top 4 of 5 of them.
Yeah. So I think people are going to see their, hopefully we give them, credit, but they're going to see those ideas kind of permeate our thinking and that pushing that enemy diversity. Hopefully, it's going to balance that seesaw. People who saw the Dark Sector conflicts and went, no, not for me. Okay, well, that enemy diversity is going to be the thing that gets you re-engaged and more interested in those old places.
One really important question from Nixie. Will the new player experience be looked at? It's very difficult to introduce new players into the game because it's quite frankly horrible. Tutorials are lacking, especially the mod system.
Ouch!
This is our dog food we got to eat.
So, poopy new player experience.
Yeah.
We've talked about that for a long time, and
what I have to show really isn't going to speak a hell of a lot to the new player experience, but I do have stuff to show.
But it is being worked on.
And it is. It is. That's a great question. I appreciate that person who's obviously a great Warframe player, but still worried about people.
I want my buddy to play, and they're just
like. Do they play Nix? Like, was it Nix,
but it's not spelled with a Y. So I saw them in chat before the stream, so they might be here to help.
They might actually be here. Okay, it's a great question, and I think part of the trap we get caught in as developers is we're always listening to the community and engaging with them. So we get a very specific type of player that communicates with us. A Glen player who's just like, give me the stats.
The right ones.
Give me a spreadsheet. Divide by 2, rounding error, RNGesus, all that sort of stuff. And we kind of forget about those players who want to bring their friends to the game, and their friends go, what the hell am I doing in this game? Or that, unlike, say, Glen, or I know the way you play as well, Pokemon style, like, get them all, right?
Gotta catch them all, bro.
No.
Professor Oak. I'm
so
3 pieces away.
If you're intrinsically motivated, then Warframe is great for you because there's a million things to collect and build, and there's a lot of stuff to do. If you're not, then the game does not really hold your hand even a little bit. So, I'm not talking about dumbing down the game. I'm just talking about giving you very specific goals. For an elder player, it would be without a melee weapon, go and kill this boss so you don't have any, coptering. For a new player, it's like, okay, let me tell you the story of Vor, go kick his ass and build up a long way. So I'm going to get up and show the playership, which is kind of not really the silver bullet.
Playership?
I'm gonna show the playership.
Work in progress.
This is work in progress. It's not even textured. It's probably not even lit right now. It's probably going to crash like 600 times while I'm going. The artists are very.
Is this a new login screen?
Are very sad that.
It looks like a login screen.
Yeah, a lot of people didn't want this.
Let's see this.
So
what you're seeing is a work in progress.
Huge work.
It's not a good Warframe choice. Rebecca's going to give me trouble about that.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
So this is how you scratch your beard. Okay. This is how you check your eye for. Oh, okay. All right. So the playership. It's awesome. You when you resume your session, you'll be where you last played a mission.
So you were last at Earth?
I was last at Earth. Here I am. My ship is hovering, orbiting Earth. I look awesome, and I'm going to log in. Let's pray. Will this work? Yes. Okay. Cool. So I'm in my player ship. I'm walking around. Everything is awesome. It's like the Lego movie. So I can kind of look out here, look in space. Someone. Okay. Well, there's a few errors, but if it was working like it was this morning, there'd be a Grenier ship flying by, or little Tenno Lisettes zipping off into the distance. I'm not sure where the audio is at, but every location is going to have almost like a police scanner where you're listening to the faction that controls that region and what they're saying about the Tenno, what they're saying about you and their goals.
Someone noticed your head movement.
Head movement.
Oh, you noticed head movement? Great, that's fantastic. It's better. So I'm actually going to put this in the game because I think it looks really cool. When I first got this working, I walked out and started looking at Earth, and it really bugged me that he was looking straight. And I'm like, no, you got to look at the Earth, man. It's awesome. So when you get your player ship, the problem with this is obviously, nothing's textured and there's lots of rendering errors. When you first get your ship, it's not going to look like this. It's going to look old and sort of crappy. Well, awesome, but lived in, and it's going to need to be built up. So the new user experience is get your player ship and then go out and get the ship modules to make you into a kick-ass space ninja. And that's going to be things like Arsenal, Foundry, getting connected to Darvo so that you can see the market and those sorts of things. So what we're trying to do is break out the gameplay complexity that Nix was talking about.
Right.
And give you a quest to go get those things on certain missions throughout Earth and Mercury to make sure that the visual diversity of the game is there. It just kills me that people have to play like 20 hours to not see the inside of a spaceship or a dark corridor. So or they have to hitch a ride, which some people might not be comfortable with.
Right.
So.
And you're talking about making it so that the places you visit early are more varied.
Yes, visually varied, enemy more varied, which I'll show in a second. And also, what's my other point? I had a point there. I think the bourbon might have erased it. To open up more fronts in the solar system, so you just don't have to plow through Mercury. Totally, oh my God, will this ever end? In order to see the wicked desert set that we have, or the really cool, Earth set with the dynamic water and all the other really cool, diverse things that we have there. So this is your ship. You're going to be able to put your bobbleheads on the window. You're going to be able to customize the color of the floor. You're going to be able to install new modules. You're going to be able to put some of them wherever you want. There'll be some capacity and there'll be some slotting.
So you're no longer kneeling in cyberspace.
You're not kneeling in cyberspace. You're kneeling in your wicked ass Orokin era stealth ship.
Awesome.
Yeah. Now, this also comes much to the dismay of Dorian and Pablo. Well, not to their dismay, but it means re-architecting all of the UI to give the same sense of space. So all of the UI is going to be this projective Orokin diegetic system, which allows us to, I think, make a much more immersive experience. And you can see here, even the player is looking. I'm looking at the sort of items that I want to use. So all of these things in the game are going to be more grounded. Even the pause menu now has this grounded aspect. And if the first right, so if the first question I think from a veteran Warframe player who's likely watching the live stream is, am I going to have to walk around my damn ship just to upgrade my stuff? Yeah. You'll be able to pull up the ship menu at any point and just jump to these locations, and it will essentially just do a crossfade and put you in the appropriate module place in the ship for this.
You notice the green smoke? That's because Pablo has a cool idea of it being almost projected from the player's hand.
Yes, the green smoke.
Yeah, so it's playing.
Actually, we can look at that. It's actually just playing the revive animation right now. Yeah. But the idea is within every Warframe, from the Orokin technology they have, there's this little kind of, it's almost like a little hummingbird that comes out and creates that projection in space and then kind of goes back into the Warframe.
Cool.
So we're really trying to ground this.
Apparently that was really loud, but
again, we want to make sure, one of the great things about Warframe is, once you kind of get used to it, you can jump in and play a session really quick. So when you sign in, you're going to be right overlapping the navigation system, which lets you jump in to whatever planets I already have available, and I can immediately know where I can go, what my active quests are, what alerts are open, and I can jump in and do a session really quick. So I can zoom in on my planet, and I can pick up which sector I want to go to. And of course, I just have these sort of temporary icons. This stuff is really, really placeholder right now. I just got this working now, and we're going to be working on the visual development of this. And this will solve some of the issues where you might have a sector in space where you can't, you have the nightmare mode on it, and we add this really ridiculous UI. It's like nightmare, yes, no, or there might be an alert on a mission that you want to just play the underlying one. So these are the systems that we're doing that. And again, this is very, very quick. and I'm just starting to work on the controller interface, so this is going to be controller compatible out of the box.
So you're seeing 4 planets because as a new player, you only have 4 planets.
Exactly. So if I, you know, the elder player is going to see everything here. This whole ring would be full of amazing things, and when you mouse over, it'll show you, you know, where. I wish I had the void unlocked with this profile because it looks so damn cool.
The void does look cool.
But yeah, you'll get everything. I don't know, how crazy should I get?
I don't know. What can you do?
How much time do I have right
Well, you have some, but one thing we haven't talked about either is the Kubro. So we can go as long as we want.
Just give me 1 second. Just give me 1 second. I'm gonna edit the script.
It's Friday. We can do whatever we want.
This could be a total fail.
Someone noticed Tethra's Doom. Good eye. I noticed that myself.
Yep.
I'm gonna actually try to edit the script right now.
Oh my god.
Set up region.
Enjoy band.
Okay, here we go. I'm gonna put them all on.
Show the void.
So here we go. Okay, and I'm gonna save the script.
If this crashes.
Should update. Oh yeah, there we go.
Damn, all dim planets.
So this is obviously what a player with everything unlocked would see, right? He's going to see all of these locations that he or she's worked hard to. And the void, I just, oh man, I just love this crazy wackiness for the void. I don't have any keys right now, so if you had keys, which we'd always wanted to call coordinates, you would see those coordinates in space around here, like you saw those other sections, right? Yeah.
Wow.
So cool.
Yeah, so that's kind of what we're working on right now.
So there's still progression.
Yeah, and then I think when you get the ship, I showed the foundry, right?
No, we did not show the foundry. We have Ag asks about the foundry. And
so here's an actual example of an actual working diegetic UI, which has the awesome smooth scrolling, which I think only Pablo and I are going to appreciate. But this is players are going to be familiar with this, but this shows a translation of that new kind of cold and gold style that the Orc can have for their projective interfaces. So there's a lot of we're still working on this because when we tested this, people felt there was too much information on there. So we're still kind of strike a balance there. So each of the capabilities your ship has, like the Foundry, is a mission to get a ship module, put it in, right? It's like sort of like a Batman story, right? You got our A-Team story. It's like building your arsenal and building your personal ship, customizing it and getting all of the really cool things. So the Lisette, which is your stealth ship, is actually 2 pieces. It's the ship that you are familiar with that goes whoosh, right? Which we're actually putting back in the game.
Yep.
Okay, good, yeah.
Awesome.
And when it returns back to the planet that you're orbiting, or the region that you're orbiting, it latches on to another section which contains all of the extra modules, so that the personal ship's really expandable. It's not expandable in the way a dojo, you tack on rooms and rotate objects, but it's expandable in that there's modules and places that you can get new things. Oh, what would a cool new foundry be like that's actually can produce objects faster, right?
Right.
So one of the foundry types that we're going to be introducing in Update 14 is a genetic foundry. And the only thing that you can build there initially will be the domesticated Kubro. So if I had that foundry, I would, come back here to the back of my ship, and I would, I'd just run a mission and built it in, and bam, into the ship it goes. So, I mean, just imagine if he was, whoa, what the?
Oh my god.
Oh, he's stretching.
Oh my god. So what is happening? I cry on the inside and outside. Wipe my tears.
This is my Kubro that I have on my ship, and I built my genetic foundry, and I waited for him to hatch, and because they're so vicious, every day I need to come and visit him to make sure that his affinity to me is high enough that he'll actually be kick-ass in missions.
Yep.
So it's a little bit like Tamagotchi Warframe. He's not going to die, but
we can kill your Kubro.
Well, you can neglect him.
You can neglect him, and what that does is it really will adversely affect his combat effectiveness. So if you can imagine like a Sentinel who has a certain level but might not like you would act at a lower level with less behaviors. So too does the Kubro need to be tended and cared for to be, your ultimate ally.
Yeah, and I think we're going to try. I don't know how much we are going to commit to, but we're going to try. I think when you breed it, to give some player choice that you commit to, being like the color of maybe we're going to try putting in a fur pattern on there, so that it's it's your dog. And I think we're even doing, when you come on the ship, it's really going to be a companion. He's not just going to be sleeping in the corner the whole time.
Right.
He might greet you when you log in. He'll be walking around, kind of, and we're even going to try and do things where you can interact with him, I guess pet him.
So emotes are coming when you can pet.
With the dog.
Absolutely.
I guess this kind of addresses the questions Steam had about UI Apocalypse, about what's happening with the Foundry. So
and Sheldon was talking about too. I like the idea he had where you can't even take him on a mission till he's about a level 1 or level 2. You got to put some bonding time in with him to get him to trust you and to be willing to go out there with you before you take him on a mission. So a bit of player investment on that end.
Wow. All right. So, and the most common question in chat at this point is when. So, when?
When it's ready, hopefully. It's going to take several weeks to fix this up, obviously. It is classically around the corner. I mean, we'll be making sure that players get updated, on our progress.
Okay.
But we'll want to make sure that the player ship, the new user experience, the new UI, and the first time we've ever had a living pet, that are done right.
Totally.
Totally.
So basically, if dark sectors aren't for you, you now have your own.
Yeah. Hey, if dark sectors are for me, and I still want to just hang out here, chat with my friends, and look at what a goddamn boss I am in my awesome ship.
Right. So this is Warframe Future.
Yeah.
One of the questions about, I guess, one thing we teased last stream was Leon V asks about the infested tile set. Are the infested coming back to the star chart, and is that the face of update 14?
Yeah, I mean, we haven't even really talked about that lately, have we?
No.
I thought last update it was committed to. It was official, wasn't it?
It was the infested update, which... Yeah.
I mean, we haven't talked about it here, but I know that there's a crazy new art set I know the artists have been asking for new graphics features because they want to have that muscle that's tearing the ship apart. Have special lighting and motion, that where it's flexing, which is really amazing. But rumor has it that Alid V is doing something, and it has something to do with the infested, and he might be the instigator for what's happening with the infested returning. So
I never could trust that guy.
There is something happening, and I think I saw a Lotus transmission about this secret cargo and these ships. So there is definitely an event coming starring Alid V, who's got a new chip on his shoulder. Because the Corpus kind of cast him out, didn't they?
They sure did.
Yeah, he's not one to let that stand.
Goddamn.
Yeah.
We should give away platinum for that. All that good news.
Yep.
And
we should.
It'll be done.
We'll be here.
We'll be waiting and waiting.
Yep.
Oh, party at my ship is what they say. WTF is Alan doing now. All right, we'll wait for the platinum prize to finish, and then. Holy shit. I guess if Alan's coming, what about Vor's prize? Said the one question for every page.
Well, that's the quest that builds your ship up.
Oh.
Yep.
High five action.
That finally answers it.
Yep.
Damn, son.
Yep. So you start at Earth, he kicks your ass, you barely make it out alive with this old Orokin stealth ship, and then the Lotus is like, if you want to chase that guy down at Mercury, we're going to have to do some work. And you get to it.
Damn.
Started from the bottom.
Yep.
And now we're here.
Yep.
All right, and this Twitch. Oh, Yazami has won. Our Twitch winner is YAZAME. You won 1,000 platinum. Message our Twitch page with your in-game alias or PSN ID, and we'll hook you up. And we'll take our last question from Ukami_Nihonto. Can we have a 24-hour catalyst after the stream? Yes. Yes, you can. Not only that, we will give you a 24-hour format as well, just with all the Warframe balances that have gone in. Should you want to adjust a polarity, you may do this. It'll be on both PC and PS4. So PS4, you can stockpile your forma for when the next update comes. And that's the...
I think there's one more piece of concept art I think we haven't shown.
I deleted it from the folder.
Oh,
No, you thought you
you thought you did.
Warren,
No.
This is Yui Kami made this last weekend, I think. It's amazing. She's an amazing artist.
it's amazing that she did that.
That was brilliant.
She has
you,
made
Glen.
so much art for this game.
Yeah,
And she
know.
makes the cartoons
I
all the
know,
time.
I know. The comics are amazing.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh,
Yep.
I'll examine it in detail.
That made
Yeah.
Glenn so happy.
Yeah, that was your morning.
Yeah.
I giggled.
You should have had it printed on a shirt for the stream. The
I
fact
should
that you
have,
didn't,
but I think Applejack did all right. Applejack represented.
Yep.
I just want to. All right, sure.
Well, I guess thanks for watching the stream, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yep.
Everyone, thank you for tuning in.
Yep.
It's been awesome, a pleasure. Thanks for sticking with us for the whole stream. Hopefully it was worth it.
Yep.
Thumbs up.
Yep.
Point to the
Thumbs
camera.
up.
Point at the camera. Is that what we do?
And thanks for coming,
like
Scott. Sorry you
right-handed
disconnected
basis?
out. Maybe
Yep.
maybe next time.
Scott's soul is trapped in here.
Yeah.
This is like a Superman reference.
The cellophanes. All right. Bye everyone. See you later.